Hi, I'm James Guerra with Supercar World TV. Today, we're at Backdraft Racing. We're going to help design and build a 1965 Cobra replica. Stick around, it's going to be awesome. Welcome back. I'm here with the owner, Reg Dodge. How did this all start?
Jim, thanks for coming by and taking a look at what we do today. It's a long story, but in the short version, we immigrated to America now a little over 20 years ago.
Okay.
Started this business about 18 years ago. Initially, when we did arrive in America, we came to race jet skis. Decided that wasn't the route that I wanted to take for the rest of my life. Being a car guy, very passionate about cars, born and raised around racing in South Africa, came across the opportunity to sell one of these cars for a friend of mine, saw that there was a potential market for the cars and went back to South Africa, got involved with some investors, and we built a car to test the market, and that was a little over 18 years ago.
Did you build a car in South Africa?
Yeah, the very first car was built in South Africa. It came to the US as a rolling chassis. At that point in time, it was built as a car that I thought the market would like. The car has changed fairly significantly over the first few years of business, just tailoring the car specifically to the US market. These cars, although they're fairly generic, the different countries around the world demand different things out the cars. The American market is very much about traditional style colors, traditional features in the car. Where in Europe, Australia, color choices are a little different. Power plants that they use to drive the cars are different. Their expectations out the car are very different from the US customers.
I heard you build 1,800 of them so far.
Yeah, when we started, the original intention was to hopefully build 10, 20 cars a year. Current production, we're just short of 160 cars a year, and we've just received car number 1,800. We're hoping to do something very special with it. Every 100th car we built, we do it in a special color, special options, just something unique, just to show our passion and give our customers something different to look at.
And what motor would you put in that one for being special? Would you get more horsepower than the other ones? To make it a little bit better?
It's not always about horsepower. I mean, the cars are extremely fast. They're 2,400 pound cars, so you don't really need a lot of horsepower. It's more about the eye candy element in the motor, opening the hood, seeing something special.
And the factory, it's all built in South Africa.
The chassis, the rolling chassis part of the car, yes. They take care of the chassis, the body, paintwork, trim. So it comes to us, call it semi-complete. Yes. We add a fair amount of US content to the car here, and we customize it to suit the customer. The market today in the last 2 or 3 years has changed somewhat, and every customer now wants to build his dream or his vision. So it's no longer just a standard blue and white car like we were doing 10 years ago.
Right.
Today every car is custom colors, like you can see the cars standing around here. Everything's different, and they to suit the different needs of the customers.
Yeah, so how many colors do you offer?
Anything, pretty much whatever the customer wants to do. We have about 16 colors that are sort of favorite colors that we do a lot of. We're always trying different stuff. The black edition cars, like we see this car sitting here, that's something unique, and we do this in a variety of different colors.
So now, how does someone purchase one of these? How did it even start? They call you, email you, text you?
That's a very big question. I mean, we sell these cars worldwide. We have customers ordering the cars through emails. We have through phone calls, customers walking in the shop. Essentially, it's a 2 or 3 part process. What we are responsible for here in our shop is selling a rolling chassis. So a customer's going to walk in, choose colors, choose options, whether he wants carbon fiber, whether he wants custom gauges, whether he wants a unique color, we take care of that. Once he's done choosing the rolling chassis and we build that for him, his next option is to choose a power plant to power up the motor. to power up the car. That can be done in a variety of different ways. The customer can take the car home, do it himself. He can use an install shop of his own choice. He can use an install shop that we suggest. Around the country, we do have various different places that they can use. We do have somebody local that takes care of a lot of our customers. So they would buy the rolling chassis from us. That would then go to the engine installer. They would install the engine, and ultimately the customer would take delivery of the car of his dreams.
So if you take it to a shop that you recommend in another state, do you get a warranty with the vehicle and the chassis?
The warranty on the chassis is covered by us.
Correct.
So that's a 1-year warranty. It's a parts-only warranty. So if the customer, were to break something or destroy something on a drag strip or a racetrack,
Yeah.
we'll supply him the part, but he's going to cover the labor to install the part.
Okay.
The engine and the powertrains are covered by their different manufacturers. It could be Roush, it could be Ford Racing. There's quite a few of them out there, iconic. Each of them have different warranties and cover different things. So it's not standardized throughout the industry or throughout the brands that it's all the same. If the warranty is important to the customer, then he will be chasing possibly a Roush built motor. They're a 2-year warranty. It's probably
excellent.
one of the bigger warranties in the industry. If warranty is not so important, more price conscious, he may be considering something like an iconic motor. It's a 1-year warranty on those motors, so it's really up to the customer at that point what he's looking for. And he may elect to build his own motor where he will warranty it himself then.
Oh, yeah, it's homemade. So what's the price? If I wanted to purchase one that with no motor and transmission, that would be like the first place to start?
Yeah, the base rolling chassis, so it's it's a relatively simple color, so it's blue and white, silver black,
Okay.
whatever. It's not an exotic pearl color. You're looking at 42,900. That gets your car on wheels, rolling, suspension done, painted, trimmed, basically ready for your power plant to install. You tell us what motor is going to go in the car, we'll supply you the headers, the motor mounts, everything to get the motor physically bolted into the car. You've got to supply everything else, so you'll be supplying a thing like a fuel pump or an ignition box, or anything to do with the motor comes from the customer side or the engine side.
So if he comes in, what's missing? The motor, the transmission, the drive shaft, the radiator?
It comes with the drive shaft, comes with the radiator.
Okay.
It's a fairly substantial
Wow.
unit. Things that are not supplied in the rolling chassis, things like seatbelts. There's some different choices in seatbelts, so the customer would need to select what he wants. Again, on the motor side, ignition, fuel pump, those are not supplied. There is a fuel tank in the car.
Okay.
There is a radiator in the car. Your cooling lines are there. It does come with headers, motor mounts. That's all part of our package that we supply.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's relatively simple. I mean, if the customer elects to go with a traditional style motor like a 427 or a 351, it's relatively hook up. Everything's there, wiring harness for the motor, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and fuel injection. I heard you put the new motors in these things.
Fuel injection gets a little bit more involved. We will typically recommend a crate motor from Ford Racing or one of those companies. They will supply a wiring harness and everything to get the car to run. It does get a little bit more involved today, fly-by-wire accelerators, oxygen sensors in the exhaust. So the install time is just a little bit more involved. That's more something that you want a specialized shop to take care of rather than trying to tackle that at home.
If I wanted to purchase one today, what would I have to do?
Starting off with the customer walking through the door, he has 2 choices. He's going to select a car from stock, something that we have back in the workshop, or he's going to sit down and custom build a car. But to do that, to work through that process, you'd be met with one of my sales guys.
Sure.
We'll be introducing you to Glenn. He takes care of a lot of the sales, oversees what happens in the workshop, does some road testing and development for us as well. He will take care of you, walk you through the options that are available, colors that we have in stock. So if you're looking for something quickly, we can get you into something about 2 weeks. If you're wanting to build your colors, your options, you're looking 16 to 18 weeks to get a car that way.
So it's 16, 18 weeks, the car starts getting built, and that includes the shipping?
Correct.
Wow,
we have
quick.
6 weeks of shipping from Africa to here. Build time in Africa is give or take about 6 weeks. Build time in the US is about 2 weeks. So that allows any problems along the way. If something does happen, a delay in shipping, a strike in a different country, cars do go through Europe to get to the US, so it's quite a long process to get the cars here. But the customer does have the choice, so he does have the choice of choosing stock. At any given time, we have in the vicinity of 60 to 70 cars in build.
Okay.
And they're coming through every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So, every 2 weeks we have different colors arriving. There may be a color that suits the customer. If he is really specific and been thinking about this for a long time and got all his options and that figured out, he'll more than likely be looking 16 to 18 weeks for us to build the car the way he wants it.
Well, you know what? I can't wait to get started
Right.
to see all these options.
Let me get you with Glenn and he can show you what we've got.
You got it.
Hi James, this is a Roush 427 IR, 560 horse, 540 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a dart block, splayed caps, 4-bolt main, forged internals, comes with a 2-year warranty, 24,000 miles. The motor over on the left is a 427R, basically the same motor but carbureted, 550 horse, 540 foot-pounds of torque.
So what's the price difference between the two of them?
$26,000 and $36,000.
$36,000?
Yes.
Just for the motor? All right.
Just for the motor. Yeah,
So-
the stack injection adds quite a bit of expense to it. It's basically authenticating the old Weber setups on the 427s back in the...
So this is not a standard motor?
This is an upper end motor for the cars.
Okay.
And with a 2-year warranty, it's hard to beat with that.
Yeah. And now if they wanted to spend a little bit less, what motor would go?
We have our iconic 427. Basically, it's the same dart block, Engelbrook aluminum heads, a little lumpier camshaft, and you're looking about $20,000 for that motor.
So, and you also offered a Coyote motor.
A Coyote 5-liter, basic standard motors, 390 horse. You can get supercharged, 540 to 650 horse. Depending on your options. And hopefully to come in the future, we're looking at the Ecoboost twin turbo motor.
So this motor, and you're putting up a 6-speed or a 5-speed?
We can either do T5 5-speed, TKO 5-speed, or a T56 6-speed.
Okay, and the block?
It's it's a cast iron dart block. They're get up to about 1,200 horsepower, so they're ample for these motors at 560 and 550 horse.
So if I get a 560 horsepower motor, do you have to change anything else in the car, the cooling or anything?
No, we put the bigger radiator in, 4-core radiator with the Roush motors, just because they run advanced timing about 36, 38 degrees. So
Okay.
It keeps them a little cooler, adds to the performance of the car as well. And you got to remember these are going into a 2,400 pound car.
Yeah.
So they're just like a go-kart on steroids.
Absolutely.
Very, very fast.
So after you pick the motor and the transmission, what would I go to next to build the car?
Basically, we install the motor, we do the options later, carbon fiber dashes, gauges, there's different interior package, diamond stitch, different shifters, shifter knobs, hard tops, soft tops, blackout. We also offer an RT3B, which is a blackout, so anything on the car that is chrome would be black.
They're going to paint the aluminum heads?
We can do that. We do blackout motors as well.
Oh, really?
It's another option, yes.
Okay, that I'd like to see.
Yeah, I think that
So,
one does. Yeah.
And the options in here, would they do it in here for the color or?
There's some of the dash options there. That's not every one we have. There's different valve covers. I mean, there's so many different options to pick from. Basically, whatever the customer wants, we can do.
Okay, okay. So when they usually come in, would they pick the color first?
They do. That's the first thing they do. Pick the color, pick the car options, then look at the motor last.
To see if that car's coming. If it isn't, you'll have
And
to
if
have it
we
made.
don't have one in stock in the color that they'd like, we can have one made. Basically, start to finish about 4 months.
Okay.
If we have one in stock, about 2 weeks.
Really?
Yes.
So I can go home with one in
You can go home.
14 days?
Drive it home.
All right. Can we pick a color?
Sure can. We can go to the showroom and look at the palettes and go ahead and pick a color. We
What
have
about-
probably 30 or 40 different colors.
What about this color?
Birch green, black, sure.
I can get that in the car?
Popular color.
All right. We'll build one of them.
Sure, sounds
All
good.
right. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll go to the shop and we'll start the build. After a 6-week journey from South Africa, the vehicles come here to Speed Fanatics, where they drop in the motor and transmission and perform paint correction. Install all of the trim chosen by the customer. Upgrade the brakes and wrap it all up by installing the wheels and tires. Come on in and see what they do. Okay, we're dressing this 427 and we'll be dropping it in the car soon. Transmission's going on next and we'll have it in the car very soon. The Team SP Fanatics is dropping in the motor now. The years of experience of backdraft racing paired with the engineers behind these vehicles provide a process that is so finely tuned they can drop in a motor in under 90 seconds. Now the motor's dropped in. Let's take a look at the chassis, brakes, and suspension. All of these vehicles have a 2x4 squared tube chassis with a breakaway in case of an accident. They also come with standard BMW coilover struts and BMW brakes. The rear end is a BMW independent rear. Comes with a standard 346 gear ratio. Wheels and tire package features a 295 tire, and the wheels are 18 by 11 in the rear, 18 by 9s in the front. The standard gas tank is a poly 17 gallon with the optional aluminum internal pump for fuel injection option. Well, the car's all together, ready for a test drive. Thank you. Thank you for showing the showroom, test driving one of them, dropping a motor, transmission, showing all the options on it. So where else can they find any more information?
Our website at backdraftracing.com. Also go Google Backdraft for YouTube. Lots of videos of the cars.
Glenn, thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is James Guerra. You just watched another great episode of Supercar World TV. See you soon.